It's a 13.3 e-ink Mobius display. It has 2200 by 1650 in terms of the resolution. It has a capacitive touchscreen display and a Wacom digitizer to take notes and make annotations. It has a quad-core 1.6 gigahertz processor. It is packing double this RAM and storage as the normal Max 2. It has 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. It's also running Android 6.0 and powered by a pretty giant 4100 milliamp battery. At the very top here, you have your home, back, battery. So it's a percentage, and as well as a little animation here. It has your Wi-Fi. So if you're not connected to a Wi-Fi network, you just click there and get set up. If you click at the bottom, at the top here, you kind of get like a drop-down menu. Bluetooth on and off, power save mode, and then you have some other options here. A2 mode, manual refresh, seeing what windows are open. Then you click X, and then you can sort of get out of that. A2 mode basically will make the screen and the processes a little bit more quicker. We'll show you what we mean during like a website browsing test. There is a shop here. This is like where you would buy books. But most of the books are Chinese, so the bookstore that they have here maybe are not applicable towards like an English speaking or North American audience. Storage, you can sort of access like the internal storage. There's a lot of it in this one. Apps, this is where you can access 2 different app stores. So once you set up like the Play Store type of things, you need to enable it again in the settings menu. But everything's pretty quick, and Android 6.0 and everything here is pretty big. You can both buy ebooks, you can buy apps, if you've already downloaded apps like or purchased apps like on your smartphone, tablet, you can just download them to the Max 2 Pro here. I showed you Google Play and everything. In order to really get things going, you need to go to this menu here, and you can install apps from unknown sources. This is good if you want to sideload apps in. There's the calibration, enable shop, so you can actually disable the shop notification here if you just don't want it showing up like on your device. Also, you do have enable Google Play. You click on that, and then it'll automatically populate it with the GSF ID, and then you log into like your Google account, and you're all sort of good to go in that department.
The reading experience has always been very robust on Onyx devices. There's many ways to change the page. You can swipe, you can tap, you can use the stylus, you can use the physical page turn buttons, you can turn auto page turn on. It's very customizable. The customization does not end there. You get font augmentation, Chinese font face, English font face, 26 pages of fonts, lots and lots of fonts. Everything changes live in the background. You can do text style, so you can change all of your spacings, all of your margins, fit to height, fit to width. And if you're super technical and you have UTF-8 fonts, you can turn on code page, and you have 3 pages of code page for different languages: acrylic, Ukrainian, Arabic, etc. Long presses are very nice. It's very snappy, and you can go into copy, highlight, annotation, dictionary, text-to-speech. We'll just show you annotation really quick because this will give us a keyboard. I'll just write Peter really quickly. Doesn't play any catch-up. It's very accurate. It's very quick. The RAM and the additional hardware space really do wonders. You can click on contrast, and this is where you can change the contrast level as well as the text boldness. You can also set as a global preference, so if you open up any book, it will look exactly like that. You have rotation, which you can rotate it 4 ways. There is no gyroscope included on this, so you can't just tilt the device. You also have text-to-speech, refresh, slideshow, and settings. Settings will bring you into some reading settings. There are so many here. You have show close dialogue when quit, status bar. You can pause the video at any point in time if you want to see all these. Lots of screen settings, image dithering, use regal mode, show crop region. There are tons of different ways to display things, show the current time, the battery bar on the reading.
Yeah, you could
touch
basically
settings.
like get rid of all this type of stuff if you don't
Exactly.
want it appearing when you're reading.
You can even get rid of the touchscreen capacitive layer and just use the stylus and just use the physical page turn button so that it doesn't get in the way. And at the top, you have side by side, which we'll show you later on in the segment. Dictionary, table of contents, and bookmarks are up at the top corner.
She heard the door shut. Feeling lightheaded, she followed the men into the living room. I came to speak to Zachary.
So with PDF files and these types of files in general, you could show true A4 documents.
There are tons of features on PDFs on the Onyx. There's zoom levels you can see there, crop to, crop page, crop width, zoom out, zoom in, text reflow. We're not going to click that because it'll go through hundreds of pages and remove the images. You have manual crop, comic mode, just shows panels, article mode, more settings, takes you back to the settings menu. You have contrast on here as well, the same boldness we were talking about earlier. You can make the contrast very dark. You lose a lot of detail that way, so I like to keep it a little bit light. Going back here, you have notes. This is where we go into Scribble. I'll show you in a second. We have export, import. You can export your documents to certain image files or upload them to OneDrive. Again, the rotation and more features, some of the same text-to-speech. It will find the text on the screen. You can click Scribble up top or at the bottom, and that's when you can start making notes on the page. You do still have all the functionality that you will have in the notes. You'll have the light hairlines, or you can make a thicker bleed. You do have some line choices, shapes. This is good for academic purposes. Pencil, straight lines, and eraser. And you can click on this to either have the ability to move the image around with the stylus or lock it out to go back into making notes on the screen. You can make your experiences throughout the entire device quicker by clicking what Mike mentioned earlier, and this is the A2 mode. Once you're back in your PDF with A2 mode on, you're pinching and zooming, everything becomes very, very quick. And for a 13.3 inch device, that is a very quick experience for PDFs.
So this is the main Amazon Kindle app for Android, and with A2 mode on, you can see that it turns pages like no one's business. Like, it's super quick, super robust. A lot of apps don't really work with like the page turn buttons, so if you click like the forward button, you actually get like the volume button and stuff, so you don't really like have that, and it'll load up just like weird stuff like that. So you're gonna have to be like reliant on a touch screen. That's mainly because like the Amazon app doesn't know what these buttons actually do. You can change like the font type, margins, line spacing, continuous scrolling, sort of like a new option on the Kindle app, so you can actually turn it like an infinite scroll.
We're going to be as in-depth as possible with this. If you want to see a very much more in-depth review of this, you can see the individual note-taking video on our site. So when you have it on the Paintbrush, you have light hairlines, or you can do a thicker bleed like that. It depends on the sensitivity you push down. The pencil is going to be the same line thickness all the way through. You can also make some shapes like circles, squares, triangles, and straight lines. That always helps for graphing and whatnot. You have multiple different ways to erase. If you click on the eraser, you have moving eraser, where you can erase the size of that, stroke eraser, or erase all. Erase all obviously wipes everything away. You can flip the pen around and you can erase by stroke, or you can do stroke eraser by erasing everything you touch, and that will erase like that. You'll see that there's a lot of staining on the screen. You can press the little refresh at any point in time, wipes it all away. This little hula hoop lasso tool is really cool. If I draw a box like so, I can actually use this lasso, isolate my area, and it becomes a movable image. I can do many things with this. I can expand it to any ratio I want, or I can actually rotate it or make it smaller. This is really cool because not a lot of readers do this. Only the Boyu line and even the Remarkable does this. So this is a really cool feature. You also have text, where you can add text on the screen and go Mike and press done. You can then move that around, expand it, place it on things, and so forth. You have 5 preset line thicknesses, or you can go all the way to the moon and get a very, very thick line. You have colors, quote unquote, and I'll show you what I mean. So although you can't technically see white ink, if you click on a different color, you can actually make some pretty detailed stuff without actually having to erase anything. That's pretty much drawing in white. You can disable the touchscreen, export your notes, or swap the menu to the other side. Most importantly is this one right here, because this is where all your backgrounds are. You have music sheets, thick columns, customization where you can make your own basically. You can have the little dots, 20 space 16, ledgers, all that. I like the music note one because I used to play piano very poorly, of course, but you know, you can make one like that and make your little next sonata.
I believe that Onyx is getting close to providing a Photoshop experience when it comes to drawing. I like it how when I draw, like I always have my palm like on the screen, and so I do like the palm rejection technology here, like that my palm is not registering or anything like that here.
Side by side is also very nice. This allows you to take notes on one side and still use the ebook as normal on the other side. You can't make notes on the ebook side, but you have all the functionality that you do in the note-taking segment that we had on our video as you do on this side by side. So this can become very useful when you say important note, character.
The Onyx Boox Max 2 Pro Limited Edition retails for around $850 US, and for this you get a lot of value. The 1.6 gigahertz quad-core processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage. Doesn't have an SD, but with that much internal storage you don't really need it. It has a mono speaker, and it also has a 3.5mm headphone jack to listen to music. But Bluetooth is going to play a huge role to listen to like wireless headphones or a stereo speaker. This will dramatically increase like your audiobook experience. A true A4 document reader that allows you to edit and view PDF files, save them as independent files. No restrictions for access for different backgrounds for note taking. I mean, you want to buy this e-reader, and I think $850 is a very good price for an Android-driven device. For goodereader.com, my name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Everybody take care.